Hey guys, and welcome to this exam objective for the 1202 exam. Today I am going to be telling you what you need to know about exam objective 1.6, tell you everything you need to know, and then I will be giving you some practice exam questions at the end of the video so you can make sure you're ready for the real thing. Before we get started, if you're new here, my name is Matt. I help people pass their A+ exam. That's pretty much my sole purpose in life at this point in time. So this person says I help them pass their exam. This person says they're moving on to their Network Plus. They almost got full marks on their A+ exam. This person says they passed their A+. This person passed their A+. So you get the picture. Look, stick with me. I'm going to get you through this. Now, let's get started straight away. The first thing you need to know about in the what are we looking at here again? The Microsoft Windows settings, all right? Everything in Microsoft Windows settings. The first thing is Internet Options, okay? Internet Options is going to allow us to do really anything related to the internet. If we want to do anything about the internet, we're using Internet Options. That's pretty intuitive. And the truth is, guys, a lot of this stuff for this exam objective is going to be quite intuitive. I'm just giving you some of those specifics. So what can you do in Internet Options? You can configure your browser and system-wide internet settings, including your security, your privacy, and connection preferences. This is a central hub that allows you to control how your system interacts with the web. You can manage everything from security zones to temporary file storage. So specifically, security settings, you can configure your trusted sites and security zones. Privacy controls, you can manage your cookies and tracking preferences. And connection setup, you can configure proxy and network settings. So let's say if I go to the control panel and I come here, right? This is what it looks like. So this is where everything we're talking about today is located in here. Really, you can go ahead and just fiddle around with it. If I go through and I find Internet Options, I can click on this. And I'm not going to show you this for everyone because I want to start to make these videos a little more efficient and cut out some of the unnecessary details. But you can see you got your general, your security, your privacy, content, connections, programs, and advanced settings, all about internet. Long story short, for your exam, just think, hey, if it's about internet, then I'm going to use Internet Options. Next one, devices and printers. This is where you go to manage all your connected hardware devices. You can see it up here, right? Click on devices and printers. If you want to add, set a default, or troubleshoot any peripherals, this is where you're going to go. So it allows you to manage your printers, install devices. It will automatically detect and install drivers for newly connected hardware. And if you want to troubleshoot your devices, you can diagnose and resolve any common hardware connectivity issues. So if you've got issues with your hardware, go to devices and printers. All right, that's pretty much it. Next thing is programs and features. So programs and features over here, you can have a look at some of the options. You can uninstall a program. You can add or remove programs. A lot of things to do with adding, removing, changing how programs work. So what does this section allow you to do? It allows you to manage installed applications and Windows features efficiently. It provides complete control over your software environment. So specifically, you can uninstall applications, modify existing program installations, enable or disable different Windows features to customize your experience, view installation dates and sizes for better organization. Regular maintenance of installed programs helps keep your system running efficiently. So if you want to go in, change how some of those programs are interacting with your system. If you're changing a program, you're going to go into programs and features. If you're installing or uninstalling it, you can do that in programs and features. Okay, that's about it. Network and Sharing Center. So what does this allow you to do? This allows you to set up your network, essentially. So you can monitor your active network connections. You can set up file and printer sharing across your network. You can also configure your network adapters and troubleshoot connectivity. So it provides an overview of network connections and allows configuration of sharing and adapter settings. Let's take a look. I think some of them are worth really going into taking a look. Some of them not so much. Let's go into Control Panel and then let's go into Network and Sharing. I'm going to type it in up here. Network and Sharing Center. You can click on that. Boom, we're in here. Okay, and you should be doing this with yours as well, really, shouldn't you? So you can see here, I've got my active network, just the one that I'm connected to at the moment. I can set up a new connection or network, and I can troubleshoot problems if I'm having any issues. On the left over here, I can change any adapter settings. I can change advanced sharing settings. If it's about setting up a network or troubleshooting my network, I'm going to go to Network and Sharing Center. All right, now system information. This gives you information on your system. If you need any information about your hardware, your basic computer information, your remote access or system protection, your performance, providing a comprehensive dashboard with essential system configuration details. You can see here on the right what you can expect to see over here, right? Any real information about your system, it's going to be, of course, in system information. All right, as you can see, guys, a lot of this is intuitive. So I'm going to give you those practice questions at the end, but this one's not too tricky, which is why I'm flying through it a little bit. Windows Defender Firewall. We should know what this does. If you want to change or manage anything about your Windows Defender Firewall, you're going to do it in this setting, in this area of the control panel. So it manages the built-in firewall, which acts as your first line of defense. We should know that by now. You can set custom rules here, essentially. So if I go to control panel, I go to Windows Defender Firewall, I can set some custom rules. If I want to disable certain ports, allow certain ports, etc., I can do that in Windows Defender Firewall. You don't need me to show you that specifically. You just need to understand that concept. Mail configuration, anything to do with mail, it's going to be in mail configuration, all right? If you want to set up your mail, your email, you want to create email profiles, anything to do with mail, it's in mail. Honestly, I don't need to say more than that. The thing with me, guys, is I will really go into details if I think you need it. And when I think you don't need it, I'm going to breeze past it because I want to respect your time as much as I can. So sound management, anything about a sound device, guys, you're doing it in sound management. Moving on, device manager. This is where we looked at devices and printers before, but device manager is going to look specifically at our hardware. So it's going to provide a hierarchical view of all hardware components, as you can see on the right here. And it allows us to actually manage the drivers for this hardware here. So before we were managing and setting up devices and printers, but here we're really able to look at the drivers of each individual hardware component. So it offers complete visibility into your system's hardware ecosystem, right? So I'm going to go ahead and actually do this one. We'll go to control panel, we'll go to device manager, and here I'm going to be able to see a list, I'll enlarge that for us, of all of the different hardware I have. And if I wanted to come in and maybe update here, I can say update the driver of this particular piece of hardware. I can disable it, uninstall it, or scan for any hardware changes, or look at the properties. All right, so I can really look at, it was a good way of saying it, the ecosystem of my hardware, change, uninstall, or update any different drivers that need to be updated. All right, I can do that in Device Manager. Indexing options allows me to configure what content Windows search indexes for faster and more efficiently, allowing me to search for files more efficiently within my file search system, right? So it's a behind-the-scenes service, but if you change it, it will allow you to dramatically improve your search performance across your entire system. So you can select which folders and drives to include in the search index, what file types and extensions, and some other advanced settings. But really just know, if you want to change how your device actually searches through your files and folders, you would go and use indexing options. Have a play around with it, but honestly, that's really all you need to know. Administrative tools. So this has a couple of different kind of high level tools, I suppose, such as Performance Monitor, Event Viewer, and the Services Console. We've talked about a lot of these before in terms of what they involve. Administrative tools is like a place where all of this stuff exists. So if you want to monitor the performance of your system, if you want to have a look in Event Viewer for any recent events, either at the application level or system level, you'll go to administrative tools. It's all contained in here, all right? File Explorer options allows you to customize file management. Customizing the behavior and appearance of File Explorer is something you can do in File Explorer. You can view hidden files. You can also hide extensions if you want. So you can just customize it. File Explorer options, if you want to do any of that kind of stuff, you're going to do it in File Explorer options, okay? So viewing hidden files, hiding extensions, you can have a look at some of the other things you can change here in the General tab. So some of the specific ways that File Explorer operates, you can customize it to your liking. Again, you get the idea here. So you've got the General tab, which allows you to configure the basic File Explorer behavior. Have a look here. Open each folder in the same window or in its own window, kind of stuff like this, right? Now the power options allows you to set up your energy management strategy for your device. So it allows you to configure how the computer uses and conserves power across different states. You can change things relating to your battery life. So you can extend your battery life by activating a low power mode, for example, you can go ahead and increase your performance if you want, which would of course eat up more battery. You can set up thermal controls, so managing system temperatures and fan speeds and environmental impact. You can reduce your overall energy consumption through energy management. So let's have a look at that. Go to control panel, go to power options. So I'm in here, I can do a bunch of different stuff. I can go ahead and choose what the power button does, right? I can specifically say what it does when it's on battery or when it's plugged in. I can go ahead and choose what closing the lid does. Do I want it to go to sleep, or do I want it to do nothing? Maybe I want my computer completely active when I close the lid. I can choose my specific power plan. All right, I can set that up. What type of specific power plan do I want? And when the computer sleeps, I can change that as well. So anything relating to power, battery life, etc., it's going to be in power options. You also need to know about the hibernate function and what this does. So basically, it's like a deep sleep. So it enables saving the current session to disk before it powers off. So it powers off, but it saves your session to the disk, right? So how does it work? You save your session, everything on RAM gets written to the disk, you power it off, and when you boot back up, it loads it back from the disk ready to go again, all right? So hibernate, it's like a bear going into its cave for a big long sleep, but he still remembers how to hunt, still remembers how to eat fish. Same thing, your computer still knows where it's at and what it's doing once it wakes up. Now the sleep and suspend option is a little different. It's a low power state, not completely powering off. It configures the computer to enter a low power state and keeps open applications in RAM for quick resume. So it's still powering that RAM in a low power state. That's the main difference, right? That's the primary difference. All right. Now, this, of course, will enable instant wake-up capability. It's going to be faster than hibernate. But, of course, you're not going to do this if you're going away for a long period of time. If you're just walking away to do something for a few minutes, maybe you go sleep and suspend, but you wouldn't do hibernate if you're just going to go away and come back quickly. Hibernate is like you're going away for a long time, sleep and suspend. You're just saving it to RAM, right? You don't need your system to power down. So think about it as hibernate. Maybe you're getting on a plane and you need to power down your computer, but you want everything to be ready when you boot up. But sleep, it's like, I gotta go take a dump. That's kind of the difference we're looking at. Hopefully that wasn't too rude, I guess, but I think it's a good way to picture it. Anyway, moving on. Standby mode refers to an older low power state similar to sleep and suspend, but it's just a bit older, so it's for legacy systems that you'll find that on. All right. Now, we've talked about power plans, how you can choose between different power plans. Specifically, you can choose between balanced, power saver, or high performance, and you can kind of read about what the difference is for them there, but it's pretty intuitive, right? This stuff, it's not rocket science, right? Power saver, you're going to prioritize battery life. Balance, good balance of both. High performance, you'll eat up more battery, but you'll perform very well. You know? Now, we've talked about how you can change what your laptop lid does. I showed you that before. I'm not going to go through that again. Fast startup, what is that? Fast startup is a hybrid boot technology which enables or disables a hybrid shutdown mode that speeds up the next system boot. So this innovative feature combines traditional shutdown with hibernation techniques. Typically, you'll get a 50% boot time reduction, so a lot faster boot up, and your approximate file size for fast startup is about 2 gigabytes. Quick warning, fast startup may interfere with dual boot systems and some hardware configurations. So look, basically fast startup, it's starting up really quickly. That's about it. Okay, so again, there's something called USB selective suspend, which configures whether power to idle USB devices can be temporarily suspended to save energy. This is an intelligent power management feature which automatically manages USB devices' power consumption. I apologize if I kind of stutter a little bit, guys. I've been doing video after video, before and after work, a little bit sleepy, relying on caffeine to get me through it. So sorry about that, but I'm trying to get this stuff to you effectively and efficiently so you can pass this exam. So it tracks USB device activity levels and it suspends idle devices. So if they're inactive, it will cut power to them and restore power when the device activity resumes. Okay, so that is what USB selective suspend does. Ease of access in your control panel is going to let you change anything to do with assisting people with some sort of disability to access that device. If you want them to be able to get visual assistance, hearing support, motor assistance, ease of access is where you will go. Time and language, you're going to change any settings relating to your time and language. Functionally, if you understand that, you'll be able to answer questions relating to this on your exam. Truly, don't stress about it too much. Update and security. This manages Windows updates, integrated security features, and provides backup and recovery options for your comprehensive system protection. So your Windows updates, your security features, your backup and recovery is all in update and security. Really understand that concept. You'll be fine, guys. You'll be fine. Personalization allows you to personalize how your device looks, how it operates, the background, the screensaver, etc. Right? That's in personalization. Doesn't functionally affect anything, just changes how it looks. Now, we also talked about how you can manage the specifics about your different applications and programs on your device, right? We've talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. Privacy controls, you can set specific permissions for different devices, your camera and microphone, what applications can actually use your camera or microphone, all right? You can set those permissions granularly. Additionally, Windows has a lot of different gaming type features, so it offers a suite of integrated tools and settings designed to enhance your gaming experience. So you've got the Xbox Game Bar, game captures, performance optimization, game mode, and DirectX and graphics. Have a read of that, but just know Windows does support a lot of different gaming features. So if we go ahead and go to gaming in system settings, it will actually take us to game mode. Mine is on. Look at that. I didn't even know that. All right, so gaming, we can go to the game bar, which will give us controller and keyboard shortcuts, some different things we can do there. We can go to captures. Here, we can have a look at different screen recordings and screen captures, video quality settings, etc. And then game mode as well, if you want to put our computer into game mode. I don't know why mine is on, but I'm going to keep it there because maybe I'll play a game later. Who knows? So we'll go through some questions now, and you'll see kind of how intuitive a lot of these questions are. Have a basic understanding of everything we talked about, and you'll be fine. So the first question reads, a user has a new laptop and wants to change the default action that happens when they close the lid. Which setting panel would they access to configure this? A, personalization, B, ease of access, C, power options, or D, system? Your answer coming in 3, in 2, in 1. It's gonna be C, power options. What happens when you close the lid is in power options, guys. Hopefully we got that one right. The next question reads, a user is experiencing slow searches on their computer. They want to rebuild the entire search index to improve performance. Which settings panel contains this option? Is it A, administrative tools, B, indexing options, C, file explorer options, or D, system? Pause the video if you need more time. Your answer is coming in 3, in 2, in 1. Here we go. The answer is B, indexing options. So if you want to change how your Windows device searches, you're going to be doing that in indexing options. Hopefully we got that one right. Might have got that confused with file explorer options. This panel customizes how file explorer looks and behaves, but indexing options specifically is relating to the search and how it searches. Okay. That's the distinctive feature there. The next question reads, a user wants to uninstall an application they no longer use and also disable an optional Windows feature. Which Windows setting panel would allow them to perform both of these actions? Is it A, apps, B, programs and features, C, administrative tools, or D, update and security? Your answer is coming in 3, in 2, in 1. And it is B, programs and features. You probably could have answered that question correct without even intaking any of this content. You see what I mean, guys? Very intuitive stuff, okay? So the next one, let's do another one, reads, a user wants to configure their email account for the Outlook desktop client. Which applet is specifically designed to manage profiles and account settings for this application? A, Network and Sharing Center, B, Accounts, C, Mail, D, Internet Options. Pause the video if you need more time. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1. Boom, it is Mail. If it's about email, it's gonna be in the mail, all right? Again, pretty intuitive. So look, guys, one more, bit more specific now. A user wants to configure their laptop to go into a low power state, saving their session to RAM for a quick resume when the lid is closed. Which setting would they modify? Might have to think about this one. A, hibernate, B, fast startup, C, sleep/suspend, or D, power options. Your answer coming in 3, in 2, in 1. It is C, sleep/suspend. The sleep/suspend power state saves the current session to RAM, which allows it to wake up really quickly, all right? It's not completely shutting down. It's saving it to RAM in a low power state. The fast startup is a hybrid shutdown feature, which was option B. You might have got confused there. That speeds up a full boot process. So it is still having to fully boot, right? With sleep suspend, it's a low power state. Hibernate saves the session to hard drive and fully shuts down. Fast startup is still doing a full boot process. So it is not a low power state. It is a full boot process. And power options is the main control panel before you go into any of this. So sleep suspend is what saves it to RAM and doesn't fully power down, hence that being the correct answer. Now, if you want to pass your 1101, 1102, 1201, 1202, I guess for this video series, your 1202 exam, I've been helping people pass their 1201, 1202, 1101, 1102 exams for a while now. This is what people are saying. Have a quick read. Thanks for your help. I passed. Hey, your stuff helps with organized information. Hey, I can tell as soon as I downloaded your learning guide, it will help me immensely with studying. Hey, your notes definitely helped me pass my test today. Hey, I got almost full marks. I'm now moving on to Network Plus. Thank you. Hey, I passed my test today. You get the picture. The way that they all pass is by downloading my learning guide, which gives you notes and practice questions all broken down by exam objective. So you get notes, practice questions for 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 2.1, etc., right? For everyone. You also get 3 full-length practice exams. You also get 3 tutorial videos. One shows you how to actually study with multiple choice questions effectively and efficiently. This is a hack no one does. And the reason I think a lot of people fail is because they don't do this. This one shows you how to use AI tools to effectively learn and study in ways no one has probably really told you about before, and is super effective. And this one is a video that gives you some hints and tips and tricks on how to actually strategically go about answering multiple choice questions if you're not sure what the answer is on exam day. All right. Now, if that sounds good to you, head over to journeytocyber.com/1202 or click the link in my description or pin comment below. Otherwise, guys, I'm going to put out a full free course for the 1202. So just stay subscribed, keep liking, keep commenting, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye, guys.